Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Today we're reacting to Alex Jones, and this episode is brought to you by eforms.com. That's eforms.com, and if you're looking for any kind of legal form, whether it be a business agreement, power of attorney, or any kind of lease, or any kind of legal document, go to eforms.com, and it'll take all the work out for you, and you don't have to hire somebody like me. So today there's some fireworks that happened with Alex Jones. Now, here's the thing. When you sign certain discovery documents, for example, like interrogatories, you sign that there aren't certain documents, you're signing that under oath. And when you are under a deposition, you're under oath. That means anything you say, if it turns out to be not true, you can subject to perjury. And they can also have negative implications in your trial itself. But there's something that happened today in Alex Jones that is a fucking Perry Mason moment. And this is absolutely hilarious. This is the kind of things that you kind of hope happens when you're a trial lawyer. So let's just get right into it.
So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones. Oh. Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
No, that's a fuck up. That is a major fuck up by his lawyers. Because not everything on that cell phone is relevant to the cause, right? And so when somebody asks for something, you have to be so narrowly tailored to only give them what they're asking for. But when you give them everything and then you don't identify anything as privilege, it's like, oh shit, let me get that back. I need to identify the privilege, but they didn't do that. So there's a few things that happens there. Everything on that phone is now fair game. So anything he says, contrary to a text message, to an email, your financial disclosures, all that stuff is fair game.
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone.
Now, he's usually a liar. No, I mean, we're just going to call it like that because that's what he is. However, he was true in that he said the truth, that this was exactly a Perry Mason moment.
And then, Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave him the phone over.
Just
and
answer the question.
You said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah.
I have several different phones with this number. Yeah. Give me a break. Here's the thing. This is the way he backpedals, and there's nobody really that has the gift of gab like Alex Jones. You can say the sky is blue, and he'll tell you for 3 hours why it's black.
Well, of course. I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not what happened.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones?
Mr. Jones,
please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also only ask questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones?
So when the judge says that, to only ask questions, there was a little spot in there where the lawyer says, huh? It kind of all laughs. To be honest with you, that doesn't help a lawyer when you kind of gloat about making a point. You need to be cold. You need to get in, you make your point, and you get out.
In discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know what perjury is, right?
If I was mistaken, I was mistaken. Give me a break. He knows what he said, and now he's caught. He's absolutely caught flat-footed.
I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before, or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones. One more time. And please remember, if you need to assert your Fifth Amendment, you can.
See, what he's referring to is, while your case is being litigated, before you get to trial, you get the chance to serve discovery, interrogatories, requests for admissions, and depositions, and demand for the production of documents. And if you say, "Oh, there aren't anything," there's no, there's no emails or text messages about Sandy Hook, he's about to shove this up his ass, because all of a sudden that happens, and there's several different things that can happen. You can get sanctions against the other party. You could also have potential perjury charges. But more than that, anything that comes out of his mouth, and I mean anything, is suspect.
I know that you can do that. But you testified under oath previously that you personally searched your phone for the phrase Sandy Hook, and there were no messages. You said that under oath.
Yes.
And you lied when you said it.
No, I did not lie.
So here's the other thing. During this trial, he's under a gag order not to talk about the trial. When you're so full of yourself, when you're absolutely so full of yourself, you don't think anything can touch you, especially if you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's just watch some of this stepping your foot in your own pile of shit.
Offer on.
Does it matter? Is there anything before and after that would make it great to show pictures of our judge on fire and telling the world she's involved in pedophile? Can you tell me the context that would occur before?
Here, we'll show you this picture here. He put up a picture of the judge on one side and another judge on the other side, Lady Liberty in the middle, and fire over both of the judges.
Would occur before or after that makes that
I'm sorry.
great? Excuse me. Sorry.
I believe you, if you're only wanting to go off 5 seconds, I believe the thing is, the judge is the fire burning Lady Liberty. It's not the judge. The judge is consuming freedom.
Wouldn't you agree with me, Mr. Jones, that I sure hope some of your viewers are able to make that distinction that you just put on that?
When you hear these commentary by the lawyer without asking a question, it's distracting, and I think you lose some momentum because you got him on the ropes.
Don't you?
Object to the
All I know is-
stipulation, Your Honor.
Is that I take this very serious.
Saying and withdrawn, so stop.
You tell this jury you're taking this trial seriously, but you're telling the world that someone inside Travis County government rigged the jury summons and picked these jurors specifically who don't know what planet they are on. Correct? That's what you're telling the world.
I'm saying that could potentially be a danger if they don't know what's going on.
When you have information that's impugning the integrity of the jury, tell me that's a smart thing. How is that a smart thing? And what he did basically is he went on his show and he talked about the blue cities and how these people are brainwashed. It's just total BS. But here's the thing. These are the people that are making the decision about how much money they're going to take out of his fucking pocket.
That's potentially, is what you're saying. Potentially. You didn't go on your show and say those words, is what you're going to tell me.
Can you show me?
I would be happy to.
See, he's not answering the questions because he knows he's about to get a legal enema.
For
Please do.
purposes of impeachment, we would like to now offer a video from Mrs. Jones' show on Friday saying those words.
Now remember, he's on a gag order, not to talk about the case.
Yeah, a lot of people are awake to the New World Order, but they're experts in leftist jurisdictions in sending out jury summons and hitting, let's just say this, extremely blue-collar folks.
That is so not true. I mean, there aren't experts in leftist jurisdictions sending out summons to extremely blue-collar folks. I mean, it's just not fucking true. It's not how the system works. And he just makes shit up. Just makes it up for his audience.
I mean, half that jury panel does not know who I am.
They know who you are now. And guess what? They playing this for... First of all, putting out this content while your case is pending is the worst possible thing you can do. Let alone impugn the jury and then all of a sudden have this played in court. Because you don't think that your other side is monitoring everything you do?
They said that, and when they were asked during the jury impaneling yesterday, do you believe the media has ever got anything wrong about Alex Jones? They all unanimously said no. So, it's people do live in all these different bubbles. And there's the bubbles that are awake and the bubbles that are questioning, but then there's the blue city bubbles.
Blue city bubbles.
Where people do not know what planet they are on.
So he's basically now in front of the jury testifying twice. Once he says, I don't know if I said anything about it or not, which we know is a lie. So you got the fact that he's lying about talking about it online. And then you have the statements online impugning the jury. I mean, if somebody's in charge of your destiny, you don't throw rocks at them.
Mr. Jones, you don't like that this jury is made up of blue-collar folk. You think that's wrong?
No, I don't think that.
Who gives a shit if you think it's wrong? Don't say that. You don't say, the lawyer, I think that's wrong. Nobody cares what you think. And what you think is not evidence. And anything about what you personally think is not relevant and is immaterial and not admissible. And so I think that is distracting when the lawyer does stuff like that.
Sure, and you told the press outside this courthouse that it was because of an untreated hernia?
Well, I'm going to have to get that taken care of.
Your
and
Honor.
some other stuff.
It's absolutely inappropriate for Mr. Bankston to question Mr. Jones about his health issues. He wasn't under subpoena. He didn't have to be here. It's private information. What is right or wrong with his health?
Now, here's the thing. I'm not sympathetic to Alex Jones or his hernia that actually looks like a big lunch muscle. But the lawyer is right. I mean, this is really ineffective cross-examination.
Okay. Mr. Jones has the right to talk about his health with anyone he wants. We don't. Other people don't. You can talk to him about attendance. He's not required to be here. It's his choice. But let's not go into his. Let's move on.
I hear you, Your Honor.
There wasn't a real legal objection. It's kind of a.
Okay. You've been on your show most of last week, pretty much every day last week?
I did an hour here. I taped some as well.
Okay. And you've been screaming and yelling on your show, right?
Yes, just like the media's been doing.
This could be done so much better. I mean, it seems like the lawyer almost doesn't know where he wants to go. He's kind of seems like he's meandering a little bit. And when on cross-examination, what you want to do is, isn't it true that you host a show called InfoWars? Yes. And on InfoWars, don't you talk about this judge? Yes. I mean, boom, boom, boom. You don't give him a chance to answer. And he's giving him too much room.
Haven't been coughing on your show, have you? All these coughs in court, they don't happen on the full hour of your show. You don't ever cough, right?
I mean, I've got.
Who gives a shit? I mean, in all honesty, you're trying to make it out that he doesn't cough on his shows, so he's lying. It's kind of ineffective.
Cough drops right here in my pocket. I've got laryngitis and a torn larynx.
And what's more is you're giving him a chance to explain. How is this help push the ball down the field?
I mean, it comes and goes. It starts burning, and then it's uncontrollable. And I have actually been coughing a lot on there. If you guys have been watching my show, we'll have a cough button I can step on and cough. There's a button I step on, and I've been hacking and coughing. It's on.
See, I mean, he's given a chance to explain. Takes any wind out of the sail, any of the momentum that he has away.
You were talking about how you've done thousands of hours of programming, right?
More than that over the years, yes.
Not all of it's been about Sandy Hook, right? You talk about a lot of other stuff, right?
Oh, in our estimation, over 99+% has not been Sandy Hook.
I want to talk about some of the other stuff. Boston bombing. You said it was fake, a DHS drill.
Your Honor, we're going to object 403. No relevance to Sandy.
We can get into it some because it's been already introduced. Some.
Well, I'm going to show the pattern here. Talk the Boston bombing. You've been telling the world, fake, not real. A Department of Homeland Security drill. Right?
So the reason they bring this up is to show the Sandy Hook thing is not an isolated incident. This is just what he does. And it's adding insult to injury to these parents. So, we can get lost in, the antics of Alex Jones. But what is this really about? It's about the pain that he's causing, the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's a defamation case, but it really is the intentional infliction of emotional distress.
It's just not true. I know you know that. That's the problem. I know you know that. And you keep saying it. You keep saying it. Why? Why? For money?
We can sit here and wax philosophic about Alex Jones and his lying and this and that, but what is it really about? It's about the pain and anguish of these parents, about these families who have lost ones to little fucking kids to gun violence. They've lost little children to gun violence. Let's just listen to a couple of these parents.
When it's stated that Jesse's was fake, that is an indication that he didn't exist and he didn't live. He did live. I was blessed with him for 6.5 years.
6.5-year-old child that Alex Jones is lying about. Tell me that doesn't just ring through your heart. It just rings through your heart. Alex Jones has made these parents' lives another living hell that they've had to go through. Now, in finding his phone, they will no doubt get access to his finances and find out that he's not only lying about, disclosing certain information, but also lying about his finances. He said, if this judgment is more than $2 million, it'll ruin me. Bullshit. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars over the years. And so, and he just doesn't care about lying. And I guarantee he doesn't care about hiding things. What worries me is that the Sandy Hook lawyer is just not up to the task. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. But he seemed kind of ineffective on his cross-examination of Alex Jones. And one of the things that can happen when you do a cross-examination like that, you can wind up hating the guy so bad that your cross-examination gets bad because you get so emotional and vested in tearing somebody down as opposed to worrying about the facts of the case. And in this case, they've asked for $150 million, which I think is nothing. They should have asked for $1 billion because this is something that went out worldwide. This wasn't just something that was, in a little Gazette newspaper. Alex Jones was also instrumental in firing up people for January 6th. And don't think for 1 minute that the January 6th prosecutors aren't going to want to subpoena that phone. So he sort of fucked up here. His lawyer sort of messed up a little bit by doing this. And so we'll see what the verdict comes out, but today was a pivotal day. And as Alex Jones himself said, it was a Perry Mason moment for the plaintiff. Oh, by the way, now here's the thing. I got a lot of comments that I got something wrong on the Amber Heard thing, okay? So here's what we're going to do. And I did take it from news clippings, and I just tried to analyze the various things that we're looking at. So I think what we'll do is we will get the 6,000 documents. We will go through them ourselves, all of them. And then I'll do another Amber Heard video, Johnny Depp Amber Heard video, where I analyze everything, and we don't shortchange you guys on that because I get the impression that you guys want a deep dive on that. So we'll do it. So as soon as we get those documents and we go through them, which will take some time, but I will go through them, and we'll do another video on that, and we'll show you all the documents, and we'll pull them up, and not every one of them, because not all of them are going to be super spicy, but we'll will respond to some of your criticism. I can take criticism. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. If we don't get it right, we'll try to make it right. This is Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Stop self-snitching. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please just let my God.